part of valor. At times, we need to recognize that we need to live to fight another day. These are also home truths. General Patton said that also. So, whilst that is true, we should never lack in guts. And ethics is the last one, which I did speak about earlier. We need to be, in Harvard again, they teach them that at the end of 20 years, you should not be in jail. You repeat to yourself every day. The message is very clear, be ethical. So, we all need to get out of our comfort zones. I have been living in my comfort zone in the operation theatres where I love for several years. Right? Let me tell you a little story again. The Japanese, they love a particular type of fish which has got many, many hundreds of kilometers away from Japan. So, when they go and get that fish, the fish loses its, whatever the tone, and it loses its taste. So what they did was they took huge containers, put water in it, and they used to bring the fish back. Again, the fish would lose its movement after the first day or two, because probably the environment was lacking. The fish would again not taste the same. So what did they do? They look back. In those huge containers, they put a small shark. Now the shark would chase the fish, and the fish would remain moving around and remain tasty. At times, senior managers have to be sharp to push people out of their comfort zone. Don't make them uncomfortable. But it is our moral responsibility as custodians to push people out of their comfort zone. Why I say this is, look, most of us plateau off here. Our peak is there. Why do we plateau off here? No, because we are not pushed out of our comfort zone. So, somebody is not doing this job, and I take the easy way out. I stay in my comfort zone. Alright, this I like because this was Obama's war cry in the last elections. This time it was something else, forward. And last time, what does change? Change, I like the thing called intellectual scaffolding. That is change. We need to change. And if there is one constant, it is change. Now, somebody who hasn't changed, you take Kodak films, they didn't change. They knew the future was coming, they knew digital cameras were coming, they didn't change. They became bankrupt. You take cyber cafes. Everybody has a cyber cafe in his pocket. If they don't close shop, cyber cafes are going to be in trouble. So change is something to be. Don't be in denial. I am an naughty man. If I am in denial, I lose my patient, which is the most horrible thing. Surgeon who's in denial, okay, no, my patient is not bleeding, and after half an hour, she collapses. Don't be in denial, okay, this can't happen to me. A heart attack can happen to a 40-year-old because he's in denial. No, we need to take stock. Anybody who's not failed in life will not live life. So simple. Let me try and give you some examples. The greatest president of USA, whom we have just made, Abraham Lincoln, without doubt, he had a nervous breakdown. He lost his fiancée. He lost the election 8 times. He might not become the greatest president. He had so many failures. The greatest basketball player ever lived, Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan locked himself in a room and cried because he was not selected for the school basketball team. And every time he missed the basket, he would repeatedly practice it. I can give you several. Steve Jobs, what a great man. He made Apple, he lost Apple, he rebought Apple, and when he died, there was a banker. What did the doctors say? We have failed. Such a great man. He started life in this big garage. And Edison, he carried out the experiment 10,000 times, he failed. Finally the tungsten wire started to light up. I can give you lots of it, all of us, but let me give you one example which is close to my heart. I studied in a school called St. Aloysius in Germany. Being a Christian, they had this ethos of putting everybody into the boxing ring, at least once. And the idea was that that if you got a knockout punch, you went down on your knees, the whole school was standing there, and the games master used to be standing around. Now everybody was waiting. On your trembling knees, anybody who's got a knockout punch will realize how difficult it is to stand up. On your trembling knees, if you stood up, he would come and grab you, and they would be clapping all around. See the strong message. It is not a crime to fail or to fall, but it is a crime not to try and get out thereafter. So I think that is we have to have a brand value as individuals, as organizations, whether it is this great institution of Ludhiana Management Association, I don't want to go into it. See, the point is very simple. Your child wants a Nike pair of shoes that cost 5,000 rupees. He is not satisfied with Bata. Your daughter wants a Pepe jean, it costs you a packet. And you can get her better jeans tailored. But no, that's the brand value. Each one of us must cultivate a brand value. So this is again very important. Wherever we are working, especially for doctors and nurses who are in stressed out, we are in denial. कि ये मैंने नहीं करी ये गलती. Why? Because the environment is full of blame. We need to create, wherever we are in our workplaces, environments that are blame-free. We need to give people anticipatory bail. We need to make sure that we distinguish between an act of negligence and a genuine error before we take punitive action. Look, you can see that hyperlink over there, that the USA has passed this thing. I don't want to go into it now, I don't have the time, but they have passed a legislation in 2005 where they have created, there is the concept of blame-free environment has been legislated. This was what I had done when I heard Obama's first debacle against Mitt Romney this year. Obama is such a great man. He did not have a checklist. Romney was staying ahead of Obama all the time. And Romney just did it. We all need to stay ahead. We can never chase a problem, especially in the operation theatre where I work. You can never chase a problem. You have to stay ahead. All of us need to stay ahead. Alright, I wanted to delete the next slide, but I forgot to tell my wife to go ahead. But let me conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by telling you all that it's been a pleasure speaking to you all. And my elder sister is a PhD in literature. So I was just speaking to her. She told me that this chap, Lord Tennyson, made this quote, and it says that men may come and men may go, but the brook continues to flow. Now, in our context, this evening, the brook is this great organization, the LMA, right? And these gentlemen here and you people are the current managers of this group. And let me tell you, the feeling that I get is that this group is not only growing, it has gathered such a momentum, which is at the same time non-turbulent. It's a laminar flow with a huge momentum. I've been hearing about it. And it does not hesitate to, in its momentum, remove minor and indeed at times major obstacles. So keep it up. Thank you very much for your time and for giving me this platform. I don't want to go into this slide which I wanted to delete, but Nehru had this in his hand when he died, and this is Foster's quote. So I thank you very much, and I'm sure that the audience here would have, it was not 20%, but 100% of you would have connected with 80% of what I have to say. Thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen.
There is a twist to this 80-20 principle that I learned. In the 80s and 90s, American companies, they decided to use the 80-20 principle in a different way. They thought that 20% of the people caused 80% of the problems. So the solution was to get rid of those 20%. Then they found out that when they got rid of the 20%, the 80% remaining split into 20 and 80. So the problem never went away. They were downsizing. I think that was the term they were using, downsizing of the companies. So they were firing people. And eventually they learned that they have to deal with people, they have to live with those people, 20%. That caused 80% of the problem. So I thought this was an interesting thing, and it fits in with this, so if you have it down.
Very interesting. I would place 1% of people as bad people, and I would put 4% as fence sitters. I think if we can get those 4% fence sitters on the side of becoming good, we can leave aside the others.
Janusa, 2 points or 2 questions, because they don't allow to raise the points.
No, please, I would prefer you giving us some points with your stature and knowledge.
One, especially in your line, medical line.
Yes.
In India, I think we can change this 2080 business into 595 or even 298, because it is destined and all that, as you have said. Those 2 or 5% will have all the wealth, they will have all the facilities, they have all. Luckily or unluckily, your medical profession, the new hospitals coming up and everything, Dr. Gedi is also there, you may mind it. They are also targeting those 5% or something for the sake of profits. All professionals, including me. That is the problem which is coming up. The professions which were supposed to take care of, perhaps 80% or more, because they are also profit, even education-making profession. We are targeting those 5% or 20%, whatever that cut-off point is, number one. And number two, if everybody starts thinking like that, and as Dr. Kang has very rightly remarked, remove those 20%, but the other 20% will come. So where ultimately we are reaching? Because in Plato's time it may be alright, and in those countries it may be alright. But what we are facing here is music, because the others can be summed up in 6 months from 6 cylinder to 9 cylinder, like you got today, that, and you can go on bothering them about this, and take away, because all privileges, everything are meant only for 5%. What to do?
And I have a lot of respect for Amir Khan and for his program, Sapne Vijayate. But let me tell you, arguably we are still the noblest profession. Arguably we are still putting in that much more effort in, there are lots and lots of people who are, Devi Shetty for example, takes 1 rupee from a farmer, and that's the total contribution, and he can go and get operated for a cardiac problem. And so I agree with you, the moment we are commercializing the holy and the very sacred practice of medicine, it is, though it is becoming more and more evidence-based, we are forgetting the art of medicine, unfortunately. And this has come in a big way. I really have no solutions.
And I am not saying only for medical, please, I am saying about everything, all of us.
This, I think we would still consider ourselves lucky, because what we are witnessing is a much worse scene today. And value systems need a revolution. Value systems need a revolution. This is just a small way of putting across for Yudhishthira and my son's generation, who will probably pick it up, not my generation. We are too deeply entrenched into our own ideas of value systems, possibly.
Sir, it was a really nice talk. I just got 2 points to clarify from your self-image into your slides. And second point is any mantra for positive attitude. Because a lot of people talk about positive attitude. How to build a positive attitude, staying in a negative environment is the most important. Your comments.